So if somebody wanted to start, where do they start? I mean, is there a passage in the Bible that they start with? Do they start by getting your book? You know, how do they start?
The best way to start Christian meditation is really to start with one Bible passage, and to focus on that Bible passage. Read that Bible passage a couple of times over and over again, and whatever word, whatever thought sticks with you, jumps out at you, just stick with that word. Just reflect on that word for 5-10 minutes, and that's it. And then and whatever response you want to make to that, make that response. But it can be as simple as that.
Okay. Now, are there things, because there's a lot of influences out here, in the world today. Are there things that are detrimental to your spiritual health? Besides reality TV.
Really, it's about how we respond and how we live out in the world. So the things from my personal perspective, that are detrimental to your spiritual health are, they can be your diet. Your diet can be detrimental to your spiritual health. And when I say your diet, I'm talking about what you put into what you allow your eyes to see, what you put into your mouth, what you allow your ears to hear. So the things that we're taking in with our senses, could make it more difficult for us to live a spiritually productive life. And one word that I love from the Hebrew tradition is the notion of nefesh. And nefesh is the soul, but it's the soul means the body, the mind, and the spirit all wrapped up in one. In the Hebraic tradition, the soul wasn't just something that floated around that was separate from you. The soul was something that was connected to who you were as a mental person, as a physical person, as a spiritual person. It was all wrapped up into one. So they're often connected. When we put junk into our bodies, when we allow junk to come into our eyes and ears, it makes it harder to get to those deeper places with God.
Sort of like computers, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So is there a difference between a spirit and a soul?
Yeah, there is a difference. In the Christian tradition, there is.
Okay.
It's the tripartite, which is classical Christian theology. You have the body, you have the soul, and then you have the spirit. So the body is our physical, matter. The soul is our intellect, our emotions, that realm. And then the spirit is the breath of God that is in us. So really, when we're talking about prayer, when we're talking about meditation, we should be our goal is to get to a point where we're praying from our spirit, where we're meditating from our spirit, where we're speaking from our spirit, not from our soul, which is our emotions or our intellect. So a lot of times it's very common for people to have a spiritual experience, but really it's a soulish experience. It's very emotional, and and they can process it very well, but it's really coming from their soul. So in Christian theology, the way that the world is viewed is you want your spirit to be dominant in you, the Spirit of God to be dominant in you, so that basically your soul is working for your spirit and not the other way around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So now, are there people who are, genetically wired, more wired or more in tune, just, before they actually start doing this, where they actually can get into the meditation and the spirituality of it as opposed to others? I mean, is there...
I wouldn't say so. Not from my perspective. Not from the paradigms I'm coming from. I believe some people are more predisposed to certain ways of doing it, but I think everyone's open to it. It's just a matter of finding a way that's more, adapt to your personality. Like the class example, whenever I teach a workshop, I always say everyone meditates. It's just a matter of what you meditate on. So everyone is an expert in meditation. What I try to teach people is how to shift their meditative state from anger or lust or, or whatever, or worry or whatever they're focused on, to shift into a God-centered, Christ-centered place, consciousness. So it's really, Christian meditation is about shifting your meditative state to a place that's centered and healthy for you.
Okay. Now you mentioned the word worry in meditation, but I know that there were things that Christ worried about.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying like you shouldn't worry, or are you saying that, to I guess, for lack of a better term, to shift you're saying shift your focus from the worry to more stuff about God.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I mean, because worry is a meditative state.
Mm-hmm.
It's a negative meditative state. To worry about something is to think about something over and over and over again. So you're meditating on it, you're reflecting on it. So the whole purpose of Christian meditation is to identify where you are. I'm in this state of worry, and how can I shift? That's why Jesus said, look at the birds of the air. Look at the lilies of the field. Use something, whether in nature, whether in scripture, whether in your old life, to shift you to a more God-centered state. To shift you where you're more open to the grace of God, to the peace of God, to the love of God.
So, I guess my question would be, why don't more Christians practice this? Or should I say, quote unquote, Christians practice this? Because, I mean, you have a bunch of folks that run around saying that they're Christians, but their actions don't depict that.
Yeah, I mean, well, my paradigm is, you have people that are in the crowd, and that's the people that look at Jesus from a distance, and just come around, just to see something, or when they need something. You have followers. That's the people who believe in Jesus' teaching, believe he's a good person. You have disciples, and those are people who have certain disciplines of prayer, disciplines of giving, disciplines of fasting, disciplines of meditation, or whatever, may be. And then you have Christians, which are people who are like Christ.
Okay.
So I would say that there are very few Christians in the church. We have a little more disciples. We have a lot of followers, and then we have a lot of people in the crowd. So I think that's the difference.
Christmas and Easter folks.
Right, the Christmas and Easter folks. So I think when you become a disciple, you look for disciplines that will align you with Christ. And I think the disciples in the church, when I do workshops, they are interested in learning a new discipline that will ground them.
Closer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And I want to thank you for joining us today. And
thank you.
It was great. Learned a lot. And here, I'll grab my book, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. You want me to do it right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, folks, you got to hear right from Reverend Weaver on your spiritual health. Take advantage. Get the book, Sleeping with God. It's a great book to give you an intro. You can get it on Amazon. Look it up in Google. There's a lot of places to get it. I've had mine for a few years. I've read it a number of times. And we'll see you on the next segment. Thank you again.
Thank you.